He was a ruthless mafia boss who swore he'd never love again, and especially not a black woman who couldn't possibly understand his world. She was a struggling caregiver, barely keeping her traumatized little brother out of foster care, with nothing but courage and 2 overdue jobs holding their lives together. One fatal moment of bravery in a city park put her directly in his line of sight and marked her for death by his enemies. Now he's breaking every vow he ever made, tearing down walls he built from grief and blood, risking the empire he killed to protect. But when his past collides with her present, and a vengeful rival closes in with a message written in violence, she'll have to decide. Trust the man whose world destroys everything it touches, or lose him forever. Because in his mansion of ghosts and guarded hearts, love isn't just forbidden, it's the most dangerous weapon of all. Subscribe now and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, because this story goes places you won't see coming. The alarm screamed at 5:30 in the morning. Naomi's hand shot out from under the covers and slapped it silent. Her body ached, her eyes burned. She'd been awake until 2, scrubbing floors at the office building downtown. 4 hours of sleep wasn't enough. It never was. But Eli needed breakfast, and Eli needed to get to school on time. She dragged herself out of bed and stumbled to the tiny bathroom. The mirror showed dark circles under her eyes. Her hair was wrapped in a faded scarf. She looked older than 28. She felt older too. The water from the tap ran cold. It always did in the morning. She splashed her face and tried to wake up. The bills on the counter caught her eye. Electric, water, rent, all overdue. The red stamps screamed at her even when she wasn't looking. She pushed them aside and walked to Eli's room. He was curled up in a ball under his thin blanket. His face looked peaceful in sleep. 7 years old and already carrying too much weight on his small shoulders. Their mama had left them both 2 years ago. Just walked out one day and never came back. No note, no explanation, nothing. Naomi had raised him alone ever since. Eli, she said softly, time to wake up, baby. He didn't move. She sat on the edge of his bed and rubbed his back. Come on, sweetheart, we gotta get moving. His eyes opened slowly. They were big and brown and sad. He hadn't spoken much in the last 6 months. Not since their father showed up drunk one night, yelling and breaking things. Eli had hidden in the closet while Naomi pushed the man out and locked the door. The psychologist at school said Eli had selective mutism, trauma response. He could talk. He just didn't want to. Let's get you dressed, Naomi said, keeping her voice gentle. Eli sat up slowly. He didn't smile. He never smiled anymore. She helped him into his clothes and led him to the kitchen. The apartment was small, 1 bedroom for Eli, the couch for her, a kitchen with chipped counters and a stove that only worked on 2 burners. But it was clean. She made sure of that. She poured cereal into a bowl and added milk. Not much left. She'd have to buy more today, somehow. Eli ate slowly, staring at the table. Naomi's phone buzzed. She picked it up and felt her stomach drop. I'm coming to see my boy soon. You can't keep him from me. Her father, the man who'd walked out on them, the man who only showed up when he wanted money or wanted to cause trouble. Her hands shook as she set the phone down. You okay? Eli's small voice surprised her. She forced a smile. I'm fine, baby. Just fine. But she wasn't fine. Nothing was fine. The school drop-off was chaos. Kids everywhere. Parents rushing. Teachers trying to organize the line. Naomi held Eli's hand as they walked toward the entrance. He gripped her fingers tight. Too tight. You're gonna have a good day, she told him. Mrs. Patterson said you did real good on your drawing yesterday. Eli didn't respond. They reached the door. A teacher stood there with a clipboard checking off names. She looked at Eli, and then at Naomi. Her smile was thin. Good morning, Eli, the teacher said loudly, like Eli was deaf instead of silent. Eli froze. His whole body went stiff. Come on, honey, Naomi urged. You gotta go in. He didn't move. His eyes went wide. His breathing got fast. Eli, the teacher's voice was sharp now. We don't have time for this. Let's go. Other parents were staring. Naomi felt their eyes like needles in her back. He just needs a minute, Naomi said quickly. He needs to learn to follow directions, the teacher snapped. Naomi knelt down in front of Eli. She took his face in her hands. Baby, look at me, You're okay, you're safe. I'm gonna pick you up right after school. Same as always. Eli's breathing slowed. His eyes focused on her face. That's it. You're okay. She kissed his forehead. Now go on. I'll be right here when you get out. He nodded slowly and walked inside. He didn't look back. Naomi stood and turned to leave. The teacher was already talking to another parent, dismissing her. She walked fast, trying to ignore the whispers, trying to ignore the looks. Her phone buzzed again. "See you real soon." Her father. Again. She shoved the phone in her pocket and walked faster. She had to get to work. She was already late. But as she crossed the street, she felt it. That strange prickle on the back of her neck, like someone was watching. She turned and scanned the sidewalk. Cars, people, buildings, nothing. But the feeling stayed. The diner was busy. It always was during lunch. Naomi rushed from table to table, balancing plates and trying to smile. Her feet hurt. Her back hurt. Everything hurt. "Order up!" the cook shouted from the kitchen. She grabbed the plates and delivered them to a table by the window. The customers barely looked at her. They never did. Her manager, a heavy man named Rick, glared at her from behind the counter. "You were late this morning." "I know. I'm sorry. It won't happen again." "It better not. I got 3 people who want your shifts." She bit her tongue and nodded. She couldn't afford to lose this job. She needed both her jobs just to keep the lights on. The bell above the door chimed. 2 men walked in. The whole diner went quiet. Naomi looked up and felt her breath catch. The first man was tall and broad, with dark hair and sharp eyes. He wore an expensive suit that fit him perfectly. His presence filled the room. People moved out of his way without him saying a word. The second man was older, graying at the temples. He walked a step behind the first man like a shadow. They sat at a booth in her section. Rick appeared at her elbow. "Those are important men," he hissed. "Don't screw this up." Naomi grabbed her notepad and walked over. Her hands were sweating. The tall man looked up as she approached. His eyes were cold, gray like steel. They looked right through her. "What can I get you?" she asked, keeping her voice steady. "Coffee?" "Black," the tall man said. His voice was low and rough. "Same," said the other man. "Anything to eat?" "Not yet." She nodded and walked away. Her heart was pounding. She didn't know why. She poured 2 cups of coffee and brought them back. The men were talking quietly. She caught a few words. "Shipment. Territory. Problem." She set the cups down carefully and stepped back. "Thank you," the tall man said, not looking at her. She turned to leave. "Excuse me, miss." She stopped. The tall man was watching her now. His eyes traced her face. "Yes? What's your name?" "Naomi." He nodded slowly. "Naomi." He said it like he was tasting it. "Thank you, Naomi." She walked away quickly. Her cheeks felt hot. She didn't know why. The men stayed for 30 minutes. They talked quietly. They drank their coffee. The tall man never looked at her again, but she felt his presence the whole time. When they finally left, they dropped $200 bills on the table for 2 cups of coffee. Rick snatched the money before she could. "I'll split it with you," he said, though she knew he wouldn't. She watched through the window as the 2 men climbed into a black car. The tall man paused before getting in. He looked back at the diner, at her. Then he was gone. The park was the fastest route home. Naomi cut through it every day after her shift. It saved her 10 minutes. 10 minutes meant she could pick up Eli on time. Today, the park was crowded. Kids playing basketball, people walking dogs, teenagers hanging out by the fountain. She kept her head down and walked fast. Then she heard shouting. A group of boys was surrounding a girl. She was maybe 13, small, scared. "Give us your phone," one of them yelled. The girl shook her head, backing away. Naomi should have kept walking. She had enough problems. But her feet stopped. One of the boys shoved the girl. She stumbled and fell. Naomi moved without thinking. "Hey, leave her alone." The boys turned. 5 of them, all bigger than her. "Mind your business," the biggest one said. "I said leave her alone." He stepped toward her. "Or what?" Naomi's heart pounded. Her hands shook, but she didn't back down. "Or I start screaming and every person in this park looks over here." The boy's eyes narrowed. For a moment, Naomi thought he might hit her. Then a voice cut through the tension. "She told you to leave." Naomi turned. The tall man from the diner stood 10 feet away. His hands were in his pockets. His face was calm, but something about him made the air feel heavy. The boys took one look at him and scattered. Just ran. The girl grabbed her bag and ran too. Naomi stood there, breathing hard. The man walked closer. "You have a habit of getting into trouble." "I have a habit of doing the right thing," she shot back. His lips twitched. Almost a smile. "That's dangerous. What are you doing here?" "Walking. Thinking." He tilted his head. "What are you doing here?" "Going home." He looked around the park. "Alone? I can take care of myself. I'm sure you can." But his eyes said he didn't believe it. The older man from the diner appeared beside him. "We should go," he said quietly. The tall man nodded but didn't move. He kept looking at Naomi. "Be careful, Naomi." He remembered her name. She didn't respond. She just turned and walked away, fast. But she could feel him watching her the whole way across the park. The next day, Naomi was late again. The bus broke down. She had to run 6 blocks to the diner. Rick met her at the door. His face was red. "This is the second time this week. I'm sorry. The bus... I don't care about the bus. You're on thin ice." She nodded and tied her apron on. Her hands were shaking. She couldn't lose this job. She couldn't. The lunch rush started. She moved through the tables like a machine. Take orders. Deliver food. Clear plates. Smile. Always smile. She was carrying a tray of dirty dishes when she saw him. The tall man. Sitting at the same booth. Same expensive suit. Same cold eyes. Her stomach flipped. He wasn't alone this time. 2 other men sat with him. They were all talking quietly. Papers spread across the table. Rick grabbed her arm. "That's Mr. Vescari. Alessio Vescari. He owns half this neighborhood. Be polite, be fast, and don't ask questions." Alessio Vescari. The name sounded familiar. She'd heard it somewhere before. Whispered in corners. Said with fear. She walked over with her notepad. "What can I get you?" Alessio looked up. Recognition flickered in his eyes. "Naomi." The other men glanced at her, then at him. "Coffee," Alessio said, "and whatever the lady recommends for lunch." The lady, he meant her. "The meatloaf is good today," she said quietly. 3 orders. She wrote it down and walked away. Her heart was pounding again. Why did he make her feel like this? Nervous, off balance, seen. She brought the food out 15 minutes later. The men were still talking. Deals. Money. Territory. Words that made her want to disappear. She set the plates down. One of the men grabbed her wrist. "You got a boyfriend?" She froze. "Let go," she said firmly. He laughed. "Come on, sweetheart. I'm just asking." "Let her go." Alessio's voice cut through the air like a blade. The man released her immediately. You were just leaving." Alessio's eyes were hard as stone. "Now." The man stood up fast. He mumbled an apology and walked out. Naomi stood there, stunned. Alessio looked at her. His face softened just slightly. "You okay?" She nodded. She didn't trust her voice. "Good." He went back to his food like nothing happened, but Naomi felt something shift inside her. He'd defended her, without thinking, without asking. Why? She finished her shift in a daze. She couldn't stop thinking about him, about the way he'd looked at that man, about the way he'd said her name. She picked up Eli from school and walked him home. He was quiet as always, holding her hand tight. They passed a community center. A charity event was happening inside. Music, people in fancy clothes, lights and laughter. Eli pulled her toward the door. He liked music. "We can't go in there, baby," she said gently. "That's not for us." But before she could pull him away, she heard a voice from inside. Deep, familiar. Alessio's voice. She couldn't help it. She moved closer to the open door, close enough to hear. "Marriage?" Alessio's voice was cold. "I told you. If I'd never marry again, I buried that part of me with my family." "What about someone new?" another voice asked. "A woman. Flirty." "No, not even, especially not a black woman." His voice was hard, final. "They don't understand my world. They never could." Naomi felt like she'd been slapped. Eli tugged on her hand. "Mama?" She wasn't his mama, but he called her that sometimes when he was scared. "Let's go," she whispered. She pulled him away from the door, fast, before anyone could see her. Her face burned. Her chest hurt. She'd been stupid, so stupid, thinking there was something in the way he looked at her, something different, but she was just another black woman, not good enough for his world. She walked home faster. Eli had to jog to keep up. "Mama, slow down." She did, but her mind was racing. Hurt, anger, shame, all mixed together. She'd never see him again. She'd make sure of it. 3 days passed. Naomi worked, picked up Eli, paid what bills she could, avoided thinking about Alessio Vescari, but on Thursday evening everything changed. She was walking home through the park, later than usual. The sun was setting. Shadows stretched long across the grass. Eli held her hand. He was tired. She could tell by the way he dragged his feet. Almost home, she promised. The park was emptier now, just a few people scattered around. She walked faster. Then she heard footsteps behind her. She glanced back. 2 men, walking too close, too fast. Her heart jumped. She picked up Eli. "Hold on tight, baby." She walked faster. The footsteps matched her pace. "Hey," one of them called. "Hey, lady, wait up." She didn't wait. She ran, but they were faster. They cut her off, blocked her path. "We just want to talk," the first man said. He was tall, muscular, mean-looking. "I don't want any trouble," Naomi said. She set Eli down behind her, kept herself between him and the men. "Then don't make trouble. Just give us your purse." "Take it." She threw it at his feet. "Just let us go." The second man smiled. "We want more than the purse." Fear shot through her. Real fear. "Run, Eli," she said quietly. But Eli didn't run. He grabbed her leg, silent, terrified. The first man reached for her. Then everything happened at once. A figure appeared from nowhere, fast, powerful. He grabbed the first man and threw him to the ground. The man's head cracked against the pavement. The second man pulled a knife. The figure moved like water, smooth, precise. He twisted the man's wrist. The knife clattered to the ground. Then he drove his fist into the man's stomach. Once, twice. The man collapsed. Naomi pulled Eli close. She was shaking, terrified. The figure straightened, turned to face her. Alessio. His suit was wrinkled, his knuckles were bloody, but his eyes were calm, like he'd just taken a walk instead of taking down two grown men. "You're safe now," he said quietly. Naomi stumbled backward. "Stay away from us." He stopped. Confusion crossed his face. "I just saved you. I know what you are." Her voice shook. "I know what you do, and I heard what you said, about people like me." Understanding flickered in his eyes. Then something like regret. "Naomi, don't." She grabbed Eli and stepped around him. "Don't come near us again." She walked away fast. Her legs felt like jelly. Eli was crying silently against her shoulder. Behind her, Alessio stood alone in the darkening park. "You're not safe," he called after her. She didn't stop, didn't turn around. "Not safe," she whispered back. "Not with you either." Naomi didn't sleep that night. She checked the locks 3 times, checked the windows, pulled the curtains closed. Eli finally fell asleep around midnight. She sat in the living room in the dark. Every sound made her jump, the men in the park. They'd wanted more than her purse. She knew what that meant. She'd seen the look in their eyes, and Alessio had stopped them. But Alessio was dangerous too. She'd seen the violence in him, the cold precision. He'd hurt those men without hesitation, without mercy. She should call the police, report the attack, get help. But something stopped her, some instinct that told her the police wouldn't help, that she was caught in something bigger now, something she didn't understand. Her phone buzzed. She grabbed it, heart pounding. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But what if it was about Eli? What if something happened at school? She swiped to accept. "Hello?" Silence. "Hello?" she said again. Then a voice, low, male, unfamiliar. "You should have minded your business, Naomi Carter." Click. The line went dead. Naomi sat frozen. They knew her name, her full name. She stood and checked the locks again. Then she pulled a chair in front of the door. She sat in it, with a kitchen knife in her lap. She didn't sleep. When morning came, she was exhausted. But Eli needed breakfast. Eli needed to get to school. She moved through her routine like a zombie, got Eli dressed, fed him cereal, walked him to school. The whole way, she felt eyes on her back. At the school, she knelt down in front of Eli. "You stay with your teacher today, okay? Don't go anywhere alone, not even to the bathroom. You tell Mrs. Patterson to take you." Eli's eyes were wide. "Why?" "Just do it, please." He nodded. She kissed his forehead and watched him go inside. Then she turned to leave. A black car was parked across the street. Her heart stopped. The driver's side window rolled down. Alessio looked out at her. They stared at each other, neither moving. Then slowly, Naomi walked across the street. She stopped a few feet from the car. "Are you following me?" "Protecting you." "I don't need your protection." "You do." His voice was flat. "Those men last night, they were sent by someone who wants to hurt you." "Why would anyone want to hurt me? I'm nobody." "You got involved when you helped that girl in the park. You drew attention." He paused. "My attention." Understanding crashed over her. "This is your fault." "Yes." At least he was honest. "Then stay away from me," she said. "If being near you puts me in danger, then leave." "I can't." "Why not?" His jaw tightened. "Because they already know about you. Leaving won't change that. All I can do now is keep you safe. I don't want anything from you." "I know." Something flickered in his eyes. Regret, maybe. Or guilt. "But you're involved now, whether you like it or not." Naomi wanted to scream, to cry, to hit him. But she just stood there, shaking with fear and anger. "Please," Alessio said quietly. "Let me help. You've helped enough." She turned and walked away. Fast. Before he could say anything else. Behind her, the black car didn't move. Alessio watched her go, and for the first time in years, he felt something crack inside his chest, something that felt almost like shame. Naomi worked her shift at the diner in a fog. Her mind kept replaying the phone call, the voice, the threat. You should have minded your business. Every customer made her jump. Every time the door opened, her heart raced. She spilled coffee twice, dropped a plate. Rick yelled at her in front of everyone. She didn't care. She just wanted to get through the day. Pick up Eli. Go home. Lock the door. When her shift finally ended, she practically ran out the door. The walk to Eli's school felt longer than usual. Every shadow looked dangerous. Every stranger looked suspicious. She picked up Eli and held his hand tight. Too tight. He looked up at her with worried eyes but didn't say anything. They walked home fast. She kept checking behind them. No black car. No Alessio. Good. But when they reached their apartment building, her stomach dropped. The front door to the building was propped open. It was supposed to lock automatically. She pushed Eli behind her and climbed the stairs slowly. Their apartment was on the 3rd floor. The hallway was empty. Silent. Their door looked normal. But when she got closer, she saw it. Scratches around the lock, fresh ones, like someone had tried to pick it. Her hands shook as she unlocked the door. She pushed it open carefully, looked inside. Everything looked the same. Nothing moved, nothing taken. But something felt wrong. The air felt different, like someone had been there. She pulled Eli inside and locked the door, all 3 locks. Then she dragged a chair in front of it. "Mama?" Eli's voice was small, scared. "It's okay, baby. We're okay." But they weren't okay. She knew it. He knew it. She made dinner, mac and cheese from a box. Eli ate without speaking. She couldn't eat at all. After dinner, she checked the locks again, then the windows. Everything was secure. But she couldn't shake the feeling. Someone had been here. Someone knew where they lived. She put Eli to bed early. He fell asleep clutching his stuffed bear. She sat on the edge of his bed and watched him breathe. She had to protect him, no matter what. Around 9 o'clock, she heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow, deliberate. They stopped outside her door. Her heart pounded. She grabbed the kitchen knife and moved to the door, pressed her ear against it. Silence. Then something slid under the door, a piece of paper. The footsteps walked away. Naomi waited, counted to 60. Then she opened the door and looked out. The hallway was empty. She picked up the paper. The handwriting was messy, rushed. "You're not safe with him." She crumpled the note in her fist. Tears burned her eyes. She wanted to scream, to break something, to run. But where would she go? She had no family, no friends with room for them, no money for a hotel. She was trapped. She sat on the couch and stared at the wall. Hours passed. She didn't sleep. Around 3 in the morning, her phone buzzed. Unknown number again. Her hands shook as she answered. "What do you want?" "To help?" Alessio's voice was calm, steady. "I know you're scared. I know you don't trust me, but you need to let me protect you. How did you get my number?" "That's not important. What's important is keeping you and Eli safe. We're fine." "No, you're not." His voice was firm. "Someone tried to break into your apartment tonight. Someone left you a note. And right now you're sitting on your couch with a knife in your hand, too scared to sleep." She looked at the windows. The curtains were closed. "How did he know?" "Are you watching me?" "I have people watching your building. For your protection." "That's not protection. That's stalking." He sighed. "Call it what you want. But those men who attacked you in the park, they work for someone dangerous. Someone who doesn't give up. You and Eli are targets now because of me. I know that. And I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Why do you care?" Silence. Then, quietly, "I've lost people before. I won't lose anyone else." Something in his voice made her chest hurt. Pain. Real pain. "I can't just leave my home," she said. "Yes, you can. For a few days. Just until I handle this." "Handle what?" "The threat." Naomi closed her eyes. She was so tired, so scared. And Eli deserved to feel safe. "Where would we go?" "I have a safe apartment. Secure, guarded. No one will find you there." "And then what?" "We just hide forever." "No. I deal with the problem. And then you go back to your life." "Just like that?" "Just like that." She didn't believe him. But what choice did she have? "Fine," she whispered. "But only for a few days. I'll send a car in the morning." "Not your car. Nothing fancy. I don't want Eli more scared than he already is." "Understood." The line went quiet. but he didn't hang up. "Naomi?" His voice was softer now. "What? Get some sleep. You're safe tonight. I promise." Then he hung up. Naomi sat there holding the phone. She didn't know if she believed him, but somehow, for the first time in days, she felt like maybe she could breathe. The car arrived at 7 in the morning. A plain grey sedan. Not fancy. Not obvious. The driver was the older man from the diner, Marco. He nodded politely. "Good morning, Miss Carter." "Just Naomi." "Naomi." He helped her with the bags. 2 garbage bags. Everything they owned that mattered fit in 2 garbage bags. Eli climbed into the back seat. He looked confused, scared. "We're going somewhere safe," Naomi told him. "Just for a little while." "Is the bad man coming?" Her heart broke. "No, baby. No bad men. I promise." Marco drove carefully. He took side streets, checked the mirrors constantly. Professional. They arrived at a small apartment building, nicer than Naomi's. Quieter. The neighborhood looked safe. Marco led them to the 3rd floor, apartment 3B. He unlocked the door and stepped back. "Everything you need is inside. Food, clothes. There's a phone on the counter. Anything you need, you call. Someone will answer." "Where's Alessio?" Naomi asked before she could stop herself. Marco's eyes crinkled slightly, almost a smile. "Handling business, but he'll check on you soon." Then he was gone. Naomi walked inside slowly. Eli followed, holding her hand. The apartment was small but clean. 1 bedroom, a couch that pulled out into a bed, a kitchen with real food in the fridge. Not fancy, but nice. Safe. Eli wandered into the bedroom. "Can I stay in here?" "Yeah, baby. That's your room." "What about you?" "I'll be right out here on the couch, close by." He nodded and sat on the bed, testing it. It was soft, nicer than his bed at home. Naomi unpacked their things, put Eli's clothes in the dresser, made him a snack. Hours passed. Eli watched TV. Naomi paced. She hated sitting still, hated feeling helpless. Around 4 o'clock there was a knock at the door. She froze, checked the peephole. Alessio. She opened the door but didn't invite him in. He stood in the hallway in jeans and a black t-shirt. No suit, no expensive watch. He looked normal, almost. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Fine. Can I come in?" "Check the locks." She stepped aside. He walked through the apartment quickly, checked the windows, the door locks, the fire escape. Professional, thorough. Eli peeked out from the bedroom. His eyes went wide when he saw Alessio. "Hi," Alessio said quietly. Eli didn't respond, just stared. Alessio knelt down slowly, eye level. "You're Eli, right?" Eli nodded. "I'm Alessio. I'm a friend of your sister's. I'm making sure you're both safe." Eli looked at Naomi. She nodded. "Okay," Eli whispered. It was the first word he'd said to a stranger in months. Alessio's expression softened. Something changed in his eyes. Warmth, or maybe recognition. He stood slowly. "Everything looks good. You need anything, use the phone. We're fine," Naomi said quickly. He nodded, walked to the door, paused. "I know you don't trust me. I understand that. But I'm not going to let anything happen to you, either of you." Then he left. Naomi closed the door and leaned against it. Her heart was racing again, but not from fear this time, from something else, something she didn't want to name. 3 days passed in the safe apartment. Naomi tried to keep things normal for Eli. She made breakfast, played games, read to him at night. But the walls felt like they were closing in. She was used to working, moving, doing. Sitting still made her anxious, made her think too much. On the 4th day, Alessio came back. This time he brought groceries. "You didn't need to do that," Naomi said. "You're running low on food. I noticed." "How did you—" She stopped. Right. He had people watching, always watching. He set the bags on the counter, started unpacking. Milk, bread, fresh fruit, chicken, real food, not cheap stuff. "I can unpack my own groceries," she said. "I know you can. Then why are you doing it?" He paused, looked at her. "Because I want to help." "Why?" "Because it's my fault you're here." The honesty disarmed her. She didn't know what to say. Eli appeared in the doorway. He was carrying a toy car, one of the cheap plastic ones from the dollar store. "The wheel fell off," he said quietly. Alessio turned. "Let me see." Eli walked over slowly, handed him the car. Alessio examined it. The wheel was cracked, broken. He looked around the kitchen, found tape in a drawer. He sat at the table. Eli sat next to him. Naomi watched as Alessio carefully fixed the wheel, wrapping tape around it, testing it, making sure it rolled smooth. "There," Alessio said. "Good as new." Eli took the car, rolled it across the table. It worked. He smiled, actually smiled. "Thank you," he whispered. "You're welcome." Naomi's throat felt tight. She didn't know why. It was just a broken toy, just a small gesture, but it meant something, something big. Alessio stood. "I should go." "Wait," Naomi said before she could stop herself. He turned. "Thank you. For the food. For everything." Something flickered in his eyes. Surprise, maybe. "You're welcome." Then he left. Naomi sat at the table where he'd been sitting. Eli was still playing with his car. Happy. She didn't understand Alessio. He was dangerous, violent. He'd said horrible things about women like her, but he'd also saved them, protected them, fixed Eli's toy. Who was he really? The next day, Naomi needed to get out. The apartment felt too small, too suffocating. "We're going to the store," she told Eli, "just for a little while." She called the number on the phone. A man answered immediately. "I need to go to the grocery store," she said. "I'll arrange." "No, we'll walk." "It's 2 blocks, we'll be fine." Silence, then "Let me check." 5 minutes later, the phone rang. It was Alessio. "You want to go out?" "Yes, we need air. We're not prisoners." "No, you're not, but 2 blocks. The store on the corner. 30 minutes, that's it." He sighed. "Fine, but call when you get there, and when you leave." "Fine." She hung up before he could say more. She and Eli walked to the store. The sun felt good on her face. The air smelled clean, free. They picked up a few things: cereal, juice, cookies for Eli. But when they stepped outside, Naomi saw it. A black SUV across the street, windows tinted, engine running. Her stomach dropped. She grabbed Eli's hand. "Walk fast." "Why?" "Just do it." They walked quickly. The SUV followed. Slow, steady, not hiding. Naomi's heart pounded. She pulled out her phone, called the number. "Someone's following us," she said, her voice shaking. "Where are you?" She told them. "Stay on the line." "Help is coming." She walked faster. Eli started to cry. "Mama, I'm scared." "I know, baby, I know, just keep walking." The SUV sped up, pulled alongside them. The window rolled down. Naomi stopped, pushed Eli behind her. Then another car appeared, fast. Alessio's black car. It cut in front of the SUV, blocked it. Alessio jumped out. His face was hard, furious. He didn't even look at the SUV. He walked straight to Naomi. "Get in my car. Now." "What?" "Now." His voice left no room for argument. She grabbed Eli and ran to the car. Marco was driving. He opened the back door. She shoved Eli inside and climbed in after him. Alessio stood in the middle of the street, facing the SUV. 2 men got out, big, armed. Naomi's breath caught. "He's going to get killed." Marco shook his head. "No, he's not." The men approached Alessio. He didn't move, just stood there, calm. They talked. Naomi couldn't hear the words, but she saw their faces, saw the fear in their eyes. Then Alessio stepped forward, said something else. The men backed away, got in their SUV, drove off just like that, gone. Alessio walked back to the car, got in the front seat. "Drive." Marco drove, fast but smooth. No one spoke for 5 minutes. Then Alessio turned around, looked at Naomi. His eyes were blazing. "What were you thinking?" "I was thinking we needed groceries. You could have been taken, or killed, or—" He stopped, took a breath. "You don't understand the danger you're in." "Then explain it to me." "Lorenzo Moretti. That's who wants you dead. He's dangerous, he's ruthless, and he uses people to get to me." "Why me? I'm nobody." "Because I protected you. Because I'm watching over you. That makes you valuable to him. A way to hurt me." Naomi felt sick. "This is insane." "Yes, it is. Which is why you can't go wandering off alone." "So what? We just hide forever?" "No. We go somewhere safer. Until I handle Lorenzo." "Where?" "My home." "Absolutely not. It's the most secure location I have. Guards, cameras, high walls, no one gets in without permission. I'm not moving into your house. It's not a request." His voice was final, cold. Naomi wanted to argue, to fight, but Eli was shaking beside her, terrified, and she was so tired of being scared. "Fine," she whispered, "but only until this is over. Deal." Marco drove them across the city. The neighborhoods got nicer, bigger. Then they turned down a long driveway. Naomi's eyes went wide. The house, no, the mansion, was massive. White stone, tall windows, gardens stretching in every direction. "You live here?" she asked. "Yes." "Alone?" Something flickered in his eyes. Pain. Yes. Marco parked in front. Alessio got out and opened Naomi's door. Eli climbed out slowly, staring up at the huge building. It's too big, Eli whispered. You'll get used to it, Alessio said gently. A woman appeared at the door. Older, kind-looking. Mr. Viscari. Maria, these are my guests. Naomi and Eli. They'll be staying in the East Wing. Make sure they have everything they need. Of course. Maria led them inside. The foyer was bigger than Naomi's entire apartment. Marble floors, crystal chandelier, art on the walls. Naomi felt small, out of place. Wrong. This way, Maria said kindly. She led them up a curved staircase, down a long hallway, through a door into a beautiful room, king-size bed, bathroom with a tub and shower, windows overlooking the garden. The boy can stay in the connecting room, Maria said, if that's acceptable. Naomi looked through the door. Another bedroom, smaller but still nice. A bed covered in soft blankets, toys on the shelves, like someone had prepared it. When did you... Mr. Viscari called ahead, Maria said. He wanted the boy to feel comfortable. Naomi's chest felt tight. Alessio had thought of Eli, had prepared for him. Thank you, she managed. Maria smiled. Dinner is at 6. I'll come get you. Then she left. Naomi sat on the edge of the bed. Eli explored his room, finding toys, books, things he'd never had before. She heard his small laugh. The sound made tears spring to her eyes. When was the last time he'd laughed? A knock at the door. She wiped her eyes quickly. Come in. Alessio stood in the doorway. He looked uncertain, uncomfortable, like he didn't know what to do with his hands. You're settled? Yes, thank you. He nodded, started to leave. Why are you doing this? She asked. He stopped, turned back. Doing what? All of it. The protection, this house, the toys for Eli. Why? His jaw tightened. He looked away. I told you. It's my fault you're in danger. That's not the whole reason. He was quiet for a long moment, then quietly, No, it's not. Then what is it? He met her eyes, and for the first time she saw past the cold exterior, saw the pain underneath. I lost my family, he said. His voice was rough, raw. And my wife and daughter 3 years ago. A car bomb, it was meant for me, but they died instead. Naomi's hand went to her mouth. Oh my God. I swore I'd never let anyone close again, never care, never feel. He paused. But then I saw you in that park, standing up for that girl, brave, fierce, and I couldn't look away. Tears rolled down Naomi's cheeks. She didn't wipe them away. You remind me that I'm still human, he continued, that there's still something good left in me. And Eli, he reminds me of what I lost, what I'm fighting to protect. He took a step closer. I know what I said at that event, about black women, about marriage. I was cruel. I was wrong. I said it because I was terrified, because you made me feel something I swore I'd never feel again. Naomi stood slowly. What do you feel? He looked at her, really looked at her. Hope. The word hung in the air between them. Then Eli appeared in the doorway. Mama, is it time for dinner? Naomi wiped her eyes. Yeah, baby, it's time. Alessio stepped back, giving her space. I'll see you downstairs. He left. Naomi stood there, shaking. Her whole world had shifted. Everything she thought she knew about him was wrong. He wasn't just dangerous. He wasn't just cold. He was broken, just like her. And somehow that made everything more complicated. Dinner was quiet, formal, too formal. They ate in a huge dining room, a long table, fancy plates, food she couldn't pronounce. Eli sat close to her. His eyes were wide, taking everything in. Alessio sat across from them. He ate slowly, watching them, making sure they were comfortable. Marco sat at the other end. He smiled at Eli sometimes, gentle, kind. After dinner, Alessio showed them the house, the library, the gardens, the game room. Eli's eyes lit up at the game room, pool table, board games, video games. Can I play? He asked quietly. Of course, Alessio said. This is your home now, for as long as you need it. Eli looked at Naomi. She nodded. He ran to the video games and turned one on. Alessio and Naomi stood in the doorway, watching him play. He's smiling, Alessio said quietly. I know. When's the last time he smiled like that? I don't remember. They stood in comfortable silence, just watching Eli. Happy, safe. Thank you, Naomi said finally, for all of this. I know I haven't made it easy. You've made it honest. He turned to look at her. That's better. Their eyes met, held. Something passed between them. Something warm, Real. Then Marco appeared. His face was serious. "We need to talk." Alessio's expression hardened. "Now?" "Yes." He looked at Naomi. "Stay with Eli. Don't leave this room. I'll be back soon." Then he was gone. Naomi's stomach twisted. Something was wrong. She could feel it. She sat on the couch and watched Eli play, tried to stay calm, tried not to think about what might be happening. But fear crept in, cold, unwelcome, because she was starting to realize something terrifying. She was starting to trust Alessio, starting to care, and that made everything so much more dangerous. Alessio didn't come back for 2 hours. Naomi put Eli to bed, read him a story, tucked him in tight. He fell asleep, holding his stuffed bear. She walked back downstairs. The house was quiet, too quiet. Her footsteps echoed on the marble floors. She found Alessio in his office. The door was open. He sat at his desk, head in his hands. She knocked softly. "You okay?" He looked up. His eyes were tired, shadowed. "You should be sleeping." "So should you." He almost smiled. "Almost. Can't sleep." "Me neither." She walked in slowly, sat in the chair across from his desk. "What did Marco say?" "Lorenzo is back in the city. He's been quiet. Too quiet. That worries me." "What does he want?" "Revenge. Power. Blood." Alessio leaned back. "He blames me for his brother's death, even though his brother was trying to kill me." "How long have you been doing this life?" "Since I was 16, my father ran the family business. I inherited it when he died." "Did you want it?" He looked at her. Really looked at her. "No, but I'm good at it, and someone had to protect what was ours." "Is that what you tell yourself?" His jaw tightened. "Yes." "Do you believe it?" Silence. Then, quietly, "I used to." Naomi felt her heart squeeze. "What changed?" "I met someone, fell in love, had a daughter. For a few years I thought maybe I could be different, be better." His voice cracked. "Then they died, and I realized the truth. This life destroys everything good. Everyone I love pays the price. That's why you push people away." "Yes." "That's why you said those things, about not marrying again, about black women." "Yes." He met her eyes. "I was terrified of you, of what you made me feel. So I said the cruelest thing I could think of, to convince myself, to protect myself." "From what?" "From losing someone else." Tears burned Naomi's eyes. "I'm not going to die." "You don't know that. Neither do I. And that's what scares me most." She stood slowly, walked around the desk. He watched her, his body tense. She reached out and touched his hand, just touched it. Gentle, real. "I'm scared too," she whispered. "Every day. Scared I'll lose Eli. Scared I'll fail him. Scared I'll end up like my mama, alone and broken. But being scared doesn't mean we stop living. What if living costs too much? What if not living costs more?" He stared at her. Then slowly he turned his hand over, held hers. His palm was warm, rough, strong. They sat like that, in silence, holding hands in the dark office. No words, just connection, just two broken people finding comfort in each other. Finally, Alessio spoke. "You should get some rest." "So should you." "I will. Soon." She squeezed his hand once more, then let go, walked to the door. "Naomi?" She turned. "Thank you." "For what?" "For seeing me. Not what I do, not what I've done, just me." Her throat felt tight. "You're welcome." She went upstairs, climbed into the big bed, stared at the ceiling. She was falling for him. She knew it, felt it in her bones, and it terrified her. The next morning, Naomi woke to sunlight streaming through the windows. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then it all came back. The mansion, Alessio, the danger. She got up and checked on Eli. He was still sleeping, peaceful. She got dressed and went downstairs. The smell of coffee and bacon filled the air. Maria was in the kitchen. "Good morning, dear. Hungry?" "Starving." "Sit. I'll make you a plate." Naomi sat at the kitchen island. It felt strange, being served, being cared for. Maria set down eggs, bacon, toast, and fresh fruit. More food than Naomi usually ate in a day. "Where's Alessio?" Naomi asked. "In the garden, training with Marco." Naomi ate quickly, then walked outside. The garden was huge, perfectly kept. Flowers everywhere, stone paths, a fountain. She heard voices and followed them. Alessio and Marco were in an open area. No grass, just smooth stone. Alessio wore sweatpants and a t-shirt. His knuckles were wrapped. Marco threw a punch. Alessio blocked it, countered, moved like water, fast, controlled. Naomi watched from behind a tree. She couldn't look away. Then she heard small footsteps behind her. Eli, still in his pajamas, rubbing his eyes. "Mama? Shh, come here." He stood next to her, watched Alessio train. "Is he fighting?" Eli whispered. "Practicing." "Why?" "To stay strong, to protect people." Eli watched in silence. Then he walked out from behind the tree, into the open. Naomi's heart jumped. "Eli, wait." But he kept walking, straight toward Alessio. Alessio saw him and stopped immediately. "Good morning." Eli didn't say anything, just sat down on the stone, cross-legged, watching. Marco looked at Alessio. Alessio nodded. They kept training, but slower now, more controlled, like they were teaching instead of fighting. Eli watched with wide eyes, fascinated. After 10 minutes, Alessio walked over. He was sweating, breathing hard. He sat down next to Eli. "You like watching?" Eli nodded. "Your sister used to watch me practice too, when she was little." Naomi's breath caught. His daughter. He was talking about his daughter. "What was her name?" Eli asked quietly. "Sophia." "Where is she?" Alessio's expression cracked, just for a second. "She's gone. She died." "Like my mama?" "Yes, like your mama." Eli was quiet for a moment. Then he leaned against Alessio's shoulder, just a little, a small gesture of comfort. Alessio froze. His eyes closed, his jaw clenched. Then, slowly, he put his arm around Eli, gentle, protective. Naomi's vision blurred with tears. She turned away before they could see her cry. She walked back to the house, sat on the back steps. Let the tears come. She'd been so focused on protecting Eli, on surviving, she hadn't realized how much Eli needed this, needed a man who was kind, who was strong, who understood loss. And Alessio needed it too, needed to remember he could still be gentle, still be good. They were healing each other, slowly, quietly, and Naomi didn't know how to feel about it. That afternoon, Eli asked if he could play outside. Naomi said yes. The garden was safe, guards everywhere. She sat on the patio with a book, but she couldn't focus. Her mind kept drifting to Alessio. He'd been kind at breakfast, asking Eli about school, listening to his quiet answers, making him laugh with a silly joke. It felt natural, easy, like they'd been a family for years instead of days. But they weren't a family, they were just... What? Naomi didn't even know. "You're thinking too hard." Alessio's voice came from behind her. She jumped. "You scared me." "Sorry." He sat in the chair next to her. "What are you reading?" She showed him the cover, a romance novel. Maria had lent it to her. "Any good?" "It's okay. Predictable." "How so?" "Girl meets dangerous guy. Dangerous guy saves her. They fall in love. Happily ever after." "Sounds familiar," he said quietly. She looked at him. His eyes were on Eli, playing in the garden. "Life's not a romance novel." "No, it's not." "So what happens when this is over? When Lorenzo is gone and we're not in danger anymore?" He turned to her. "What do you want to happen?" "I don't know." "Yes, you do." She looked away. "I want Eli to be safe. I want a normal life, a boring life. No drama, no danger." And what? What do you want for yourself?" She didn't answer, couldn't answer, because what she wanted scared her, wanted him, wanted this. Wanted to wake up in this beautiful house and see him smile at her over coffee and watch Eli play in the garden. But wanting those things felt dangerous, felt like tempting fate. "I should check on Eli," she said, standing up. Alessio caught her hand. "Naomi." She stopped, looked down at him. "It's okay to want things," he said softly. "It's okay to hope. Hope gets you hurt. Maybe. But not hoping kills you slowly." She pulled her hand away. "I need to check on Eli." She walked away fast, before he could see how much his words affected her. That night, Marco came to Alessio's office again. Naomi saw them from the hallway. Their faces were serious, worried. She knocked softly. "Everything okay?" Marco looked at Alessio. Alessio nodded. "Lorenzo has been spotted near the city," Marco said. "Close. Too close." Naomi's stomach dropped. "How close?" "Within 5 miles. "What does that mean?" "It means he's planning something," Alessio said. His voice was hard, cold. "He's testing our defenses, looking for weaknesses. Will he attack here? He might try." Alessio stood. "But he won't succeed. This house is a fortress. Guards everywhere. Cameras, motion sensors. No one gets in without permission." "You sound very sure." "I am sure." He walked to her. "You're safe here. I promise." But Naomi saw the tension in his shoulders, the worry in his eyes. He wasn't as sure as he sounded. That night, she couldn't sleep. Every sound made her jump. Every shadow looked threatening. Around 2 in the morning, she got up, checked on Eli. He was sleeping peacefully. She walked downstairs, found Alessio in the living room. He sat in the dark, staring out the window. "Can't sleep either?" she asked. "No." She sat next to him, close but not touching. "What are you thinking about?" "Everything. The threat, Lorenzo, you and Eli. How to keep you safe. You're doing everything you can. Is it enough?" She didn't know how to answer that. So she just sat with him, in the quiet, in the dark. After a while he spoke again. "I told you about my wife and daughter, but I didn't tell you everything. You don't have to. I want to." He turned to face her. "Her name was Isabella. We met when I was 23. She was beautiful, smart, fierce. She knew what I did. She didn't care. She loved me anyway." Naomi listened, her heart aching for him. Sophia was born 2 years later. She had Isabella's eyes, my smile. She was perfect. His voice cracked. "I thought I could protect them. I thought I was strong enough, smart enough, but I was wrong." "What happened?" "I had a rival, a man named Giovanni. He wanted my territory, my power. I refused. So he went after my family." He paused. "Car bomb. I was supposed to be in the car, but Isabella took Sophia to school that day instead. The bomb was meant for me, but they died instead." Tears rolled down Naomi's cheeks. "I'm so sorry. I killed Giovanni and everyone who helped him. I burned his world to the ground, but it didn't bring them back. Nothing brought them back. Is that why you do this? Why you protect people?" "Yes, I couldn't save them, but maybe I can save someone else." She reached out, touched his face. He leaned into her palm, his eyes closed. "You're not responsible for their deaths," she whispered. "Yes, I am. No, Giovanni is responsible. The man who planted the bomb, the people who helped him. Not you. You loved them." "That's not a crime." He opened his eyes, looked at her. "You don't understand. This life, it destroys everything. Everyone I care about ends up hurt, or dead, or loved," she interrupted. "Everyone you care about is loved, fiercely, completely. That's not destruction, that's devotion." He stared at her. Something shifted in his expression, softened. Then, slowly, he leaned forward. His forehead touched hers. Their breath mingled. "I'm terrified of you," he whispered. "I'm terrified of you, too. What are we doing?" "I don't know." They stayed like that, foreheads touching, hearts pounding, neither willing to move, neither willing to pull away. Then footsteps on the stairs. They separated quickly. Marco appeared. "Sorry to interrupt, but we need to talk." "Now." Alessio stood, his face hardened. "Back to business." "What is it?" "Lorenzo sent a message." "What kind of message?" Marco handed him a phone, a text message, a photo. Alessio's face went white, then red with rage. "What?" Naomi asked. "What is it?" He showed her the phone. The photo was of her apartment building, the one they'd left. The message underneath read, "I know where she lives. I know where she works. I know everything. And soon, she'll know what it feels like to lose someone." Naomi's knees went weak. Alessio caught her, held her up. "He can't get to you here," Alessio said firmly. "This is a threat, that's all. He's trying to scare us." "It's working," Naomi whispered. "I won't let him touch you, I swear it." But Naomi saw the fear in his eyes, the doubt, because Lorenzo wasn't just threatening her, he was threatening Eli, and that changed everything. The next 2 days were tense. Guards doubled, security tightened. Alessio barely slept. Naomi tried to keep things normal for Eli, but Eli could feel the tension. He stayed close to her, quiet, worried. On the 3rd night, Alessio came to her room. He knocked softly. "Can we talk?" She opened the door. "What's wrong?" "Nothing, I wanted to see you, make sure you're okay." "I'm fine." "You're lying." She smiled sadly. "Yeah, I am." He stepped inside, closed the door behind him. They sat on the edge of the bed. "I'm moving you and Eli to the inner wing," he said. "It's more secure, closer to my room. If anything happens, I can get to you faster." "You think something's going to happen?" "I think Lorenzo is planning something, and I want to be prepared." She nodded. "Okay." He stood to leave, but she caught his hand. "Stay," she said softly. "Just for a little while. I don't want to be alone." He hesitated, then nodded, sat back down. They talked for hours, about everything, about nothing, about their childhoods, their fears, their dreams. Alessio told her about Sophia, how she loved to dance, how she made up silly songs, how she called him Papa Bear because he was so big. Naomi told him about their mama, how she'd been kind once, before the drugs, before the men, before she gave up. I promised myself I'd never be like her, Naomi said. I'd never abandon Eli, never put anything before him. You're nothing like her. How do you know? Because I see you with Eli. I see how you love him, how you fight for him. That's not abandonment, that's devotion. She smiled through tears. Thank you. For what? For seeing me, the real me, not the struggling single woman, not the charity case, just me. I could say the same about you. Their eyes met, held. Then, without thinking, she leaned forward and kissed him. Just a soft touch of lips. Gentle, tentative. He froze, then kissed her back. His hand cupped her face. Tender, careful. The kiss deepened, became something more, something desperate, like they were both drowning and each other was air. Then he pulled back. We shouldn't. Why not? Because I'm dangerous. My life is dangerous. And you deserve better. What if I don't want better? What if I just want you? He closed his eyes. Naomi, I know it's crazy, I know it's stupid, but I can't help it. When I'm with you, I feel safe. I feel seen. I feel like maybe, just maybe, I can have something good. What if I can't give you that? What if you already are? He opened his eyes, looked at her, really looked at her. Then he kissed her again, harder this time, more sure. They fell back on the bed, holding each other, kissing, touching, not going further, just needing the closeness, the connection. Eventually they fell asleep, wrapped in each other's arms. For the first time in years, Alessio slept without nightmares. For the first time in months, Naomi felt safe. Morning came too soon. Naomi woke to find Alessio already up, dressed, standing by the window. What's wrong? She asked. Marco just called. Lorenzo was spotted again. Closer this time. She sat up. How close? 2 miles. Her heart raced. What do we do? We stay alert. We stay ready. He turned to her. And we don't panic. Easy for you to say. He sat on the edge of the bed, took her hand. I know you're scared. I am too. But I promise you, I will not let anything happen to you or Eli, even if it costs me everything. Don't say that. It's the truth. She squeezed his hand. We're going to get through this, all of us. Together. He nodded, but the doubt in his eyes remained. That afternoon, Naomi took Eli outside. The garden felt safe, peaceful, like nothing bad could touch them here. Eli picked flowers, made a little bouquet. For you, Mama. She took them, kissed his forehead. Thank you, baby. Are we staying here forever? I don't know. Maybe for a little while. I like it here. Yeah? Yeah. Alessio is nice. And Maria makes good food. And there's lots of space to play. She smiled. I'm glad you like it. Do you like it? Yeah, I do. Do you like Alessio? Her breath caught. Why do you ask? Because you smile when he's around. You don't smile much anymore, but you smile with him. Tears burned her eyes. Yeah, I like him. Good. I like him too. They sat in the grass, surrounded by flowers, the sun warm on their faces. For a moment everything felt perfect, normal, safe. Then she heard it. A crash. From the back fence, her head snapped up. Eli, get behind me. What? Now? She grabbed him, pulled him close, looked around frantically. Guards were running, shouting, guns drawn. Then she saw them, 3 men, climbing over the back fence, moving fast. Run! She screamed. She grabbed Eli and ran toward the house. Her heart pounded, her legs pumped. Behind her, gunshots, shouting, chaos. She reached the back door, tried to open it, locked. No, no, no! One of the men was getting closer. She could hear his footsteps. She turned, put herself between him and Eli. Don't touch him, she said. Her voice shook, but her body didn't. The man smiled, cruel, cold. Lorenzo sends his regards. Then Alessio appeared, out of nowhere, moving like lightning. He grabbed the man, slammed him to the ground, punched him once, twice. The man went limp. 2 more men appeared. Alessio fought them both, brutal, efficient, no hesitation. Marco and the guards took down the 3rd man. In less than 2 minutes, it was over. Alessio ran to Naomi. Are you hurt? No, we're okay. He checked Eli. You okay, buddy? Eli nodded, but tears streamed down his face. Alessio picked him up, held him close. You're safe. I got you. Guards dragged the men away. Marco secured the perimeter. Alessio carried Eli inside. Naomi followed. Her legs shook. Her hands trembled. They went to Eli's room. Alessio set him on the bed. Naomi sat next to him. "I want you both in the main house tonight," Alessio said. "Near me, where I can protect you." "Okay," Naomi whispered. He knelt in front of Eli. "I'm sorry you had to see that, but those men are gone now." "They can't hurt you." "Will more come?" Eli asked. Alessio's jaw tightened. "I don't know, but if they do, I'll stop them. I promise." Eli threw his arms around Alessio's neck. Alessio held him tight. His eyes closed. Over Eli's shoulder, he looked at Naomi. His eyes were full of pain, guilt, fear. She reached out, touched his face. "This isn't your fault." "Yes, it is." "No, it's Lorenzo's fault, and we're going to stop him. Together." He nodded, but the guilt remained. That night they all slept in Alessio's wing, Eli in a guest room, Naomi in the room next to Alessio's. But neither Alessio nor Naomi slept. They sat in his room, in the dark, processing what happened. "I thought I'd lost you," Alessio said finally. "When I saw that man near you, I thought—" His voice broke. She moved to him, sat next to him. "But you didn't. We're okay. This time. Every time. Because you'll always be there." "How can you be so sure?" "Because I know you. I see you. And I know you die before you let anything happen to us." He looked at her. His eyes were wet. "I would." Without hesitation, she kissed him. Soft, gentle, a promise. "Then trust that," she whispered. "Trust us." He pulled her close, held her tight, like she might disappear, and for the first time he let himself believe, just a little, that maybe, just maybe, they had a chance. The next few days were different, heavier. Everyone in the house felt it. More guards, more cameras, more locked doors. Alessio barely left the house. He spent hours on the phone, in meetings with Marco, planning, preparing. Naomi tried to keep things normal for Eli, but normal was impossible now. Eli stayed close to her, closer than before. He had nightmares, woke up crying. She'd hold him until he fell back asleep. One morning she found Alessio in the kitchen before sunrise. He looked exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. "You need to rest," she said softly. "I will, when this is over." "When will it be over?" He looked at her. His eyes were dark, haunted. "Soon, one way or another." She poured him coffee, sat next to him. "What does that mean?" "It means Lorenzo is getting desperate. Desperate men make mistakes. When he makes his move, I'll be ready." "And then what?" "And then you and Eli can go back to your lives. Safe, free. What about you? What about me? Where do you fit in that picture?" He was quiet for a long moment. "I don't know." She reached for his hand. "I want you in it. If you'll let me." He turned to her, searched her face. "You don't know what you're asking." "Yes, I do. I'm asking you to take a chance. On us. On this. On something good. What if I can't give you the life you deserve? What if the life I deserve is the one I choose? With you?" His eyes closed. His jaw clenched, like he was fighting himself, fighting years of walls and grief and fear. Then he opened his eyes. "I'm terrified I'll lose you. I'm terrified too. But I'd rather be terrified with you than safe without you." He pulled her close, kissed her forehead. "You're too good for me." "Maybe. Or maybe we're exactly what each other needs." They sat together as the sun rose, holding each other, finding strength in the quiet moments, because they both knew the storm was coming. That afternoon, Naomi found Alessio in the garden with Eli. They were sitting by the fountain. Alessio was teaching Eli how to skip stones. Eli threw one. It sank immediately. "Like this," Alessio said. He threw a stone. It skipped 3 times across the water. Eli's eyes went wide. "How'd you do that?" "Practice. Try again." Eli tried. The stone skipped once. He laughed, actually laughed. Naomi's heart swelled. When was the last time she'd heard that sound? Alessio saw her watching. He smiled, a real smile, warm, open. She walked over, sat on the stone bench next to them. "You're good at this." "At what?" "Being with him, making him feel safe. He makes me feel human." She understood, because Eli made her feel that way too. Like no matter how hard things got, there was still something pure and good worth fighting for. They spent the afternoon together, the 3 of them, skipping stones, walking the garden, laughing. For a few hours Naomi forgot about the danger, about Lorenzo, about everything except this moment. Eli picked more flowers, made another bouquet, For both of you, he said shyly. Naomi took them. Alessio did too. They shared a look over Eli's head. Something passed between them. Understanding. Hope. Later, after Eli went to bed, Naomi and Alessio sat on the patio. The stars were bright overhead. The air was warm. I could get used to this, Naomi said quietly. To what? This. Peace. Being with you. Feeling like maybe things could be okay. He took her hand. They will be. I promise. Don't make promises you can't keep. I never do. She leaned her head on his shoulder. He kissed her hair. They sat in comfortable silence. Then his phone buzzed. He looked at it. His whole body went tense. What? She asked. Lorenzo. He just sent coordinates and a time. Tomorrow night. What does that mean? It means he wants to meet, face to face. End this. Fear shot through her. You're not going. I have to. No, you don't. Let the police handle it, or... The police can't stop him, only I can. He turned to her. This is the only way to keep you safe, to keep Eli safe. What about keeping you safe? I've survived worse. That's not an answer. He cupped her face. I will come back to you. I swear it. Tears rolled down her cheeks. You better. He kissed her. Long, deep, like he was memorizing the feel of her. When they pulled apart, he rested his forehead against hers. I love you, he whispered. Her breath caught. He'd never said it before. I love you, he said again. I've loved you since I saw you stand up to those boys in the park. Since I saw you protect Eli with everything you had. You're the bravest person I know. I'm not brave, I'm terrified. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do what needs to be done anyway. She kissed him again, harder this time, desperate. I love you too. Come back to me. Always. The next day dragged on forever. Naomi couldn't eat, couldn't focus. She just watched Alessio, memorizing him. His face, his voice, the way he smiled at Eli. He was calm, too calm, like he'd already accepted what might happen. That scared her more than anything. Around noon, Marco pulled Alessio aside. They talked quietly. Naomi couldn't hear, but she saw Marco's face. Worried, tense. After lunch, Alessio spent time with Eli. They played video games, drew pictures, read a book together. Eli didn't know what was happening. He just knew Alessio was paying extra attention, and he soaked it up like sunshine. When Eli went to take a nap, Alessio found Naomi in the garden. She was sitting by the fountain, staring at the water. He sat next to her. You okay? No. Fair enough. They sat in silence for a while. Then Naomi spoke. If something happens to you, nothing will happen. But if it does, I need to know. What should I do? Where should I go? Marco will take care of you. He has instructions. Money. Everything you need. I don't want money. I want you. He pulled her close. I know. And I'm going to do everything I can to come back. But if I don't, promise me you'll take care of yourself and Eli. Promise me you'll let yourself be happy. I can't promise that. Naomi, no. Because if you don't come back, I won't be happy. I'll survive. I'll take care of Eli. But I won't be happy. Not without you. He closed his eyes. Pain crossed his face. I'm sorry. For what? For dragging you into this. For making you care. For... She kissed him. Cut him off. Don't apologize for being loved. You deserve to be loved. Even if you don't think so. I don't deserve you. Too bad, you're stuck with me. He smiled, sad but real. I can live with that. They held each other until the sun started to set. Until Marco came to get him. It's time, Marco said quietly. Alessio stood. Stay inside. Lock the doors. Don't come out no matter what you hear. Alessio, promise me. She nodded. I promise. He kissed her one more time. Then he was gone. Naomi stood in the garden alone, her heart pounding, her hands shaking. She walked inside, checked on Eli. He was still sleeping. Peaceful. She sat on the couch, waited. Every minute felt like an hour. Alessio never made it to the meeting because Lorenzo came to them. Naomi was in the living room when she heard the first gunshot, then shouting, then alarms. She ran to Eli's room. He was awake, crying. Mama! She grabbed him. We have to hide. Now! She pulled him into the closet, the big one in Alessio's room. He'd shown it to her once. Reinforced. Safe. She locked them inside. Held Eli tight. Covered his ears. Outside, the sounds of violence, gunfire, shouting, breaking glass. Eli sobbed against her shoulder. I'm scared. I know, baby. I know. Just stay quiet. Stay with me. Minutes passed. Or hours. She couldn't tell. Time stopped meaning anything. Then silence. Heavy. Suffocating. She held her breath, listened. Footsteps, coming closer. The closet door rattled. Someone trying to open it. She held Eli tighter. Prayed. Prayed harder than she'd ever prayed in her life. Then a voice. "Naomi, it's me. Open the door." Alessio. She fumbled with the lock, threw the door open. He stood there, alive. Bloody but alive. She fell into his arms, sobbing. "You're okay. You're okay. I'm okay." He held her and Eli both. "It's over. Lorenzo's dead. His men are gone. It's over." She pulled back, looked at him. Blood on his shirt, his face, his hands. "Are you hurt?" "Not badly. Most of this isn't mine." She didn't want to know whose it was. Marco appeared behind him. "The house is secure. Police are on their way." Alessio nodded. Then his legs gave out. He collapsed against the wall. "Alessio!" Naomi caught him. "Marco, help!" They got him to the bed. Naomi checked him over. A cut on his arm. Deep. Bleeding. "I need bandages." "Water. Now," she said. Marco ran. Eli stood frozen, staring at the blood. "Eli, look at me," Naomi said firmly. "He's going to be okay. But I need you to be brave right now. Can you do that?" Eli nodded. "Good, go to your room, close the door, stay there until I come get you. Okay?" He nodded again. Ran. Naomi turned back to Alessio. His eyes were closed. His breathing was shallow. "Hey, stay with me," she said. His eyes opened. "I'm here. Don't you dare leave me. Not now. Not after everything. I'm not going anywhere." Marco came back with supplies. Naomi cleaned the wound. It was deep, but not fatal. She wrapped it tight. Stopped the bleeding. The whole time Alessio watched her. His hand reached for hers. "I thought I'd lost you," he whispered. "You didn't. I'm here. They got past the gates, through the guards. They were coming for you. I saw one of them heading for the house and I couldn't let him get to you. I couldn't." "Shh. It's okay. You stopped them. I killed him. I killed all of them. To protect us. That's not murder. That's survival." He closed his eyes. A tear slipped down his cheek. "I thought I'd lost you like I lost them. Like I lost Isabella and Sophia. I thought history was repeating itself." She climbed onto the bed next to him, held him. "But it didn't. We're here. We're alive. We're together. I can't do this again. I can't lose someone else." "You won't." "How can you know that?" "Because we're going to be careful. We're going to be smart. And we're going to choose each other every day. That's how." He held her tight. His body shook. From pain or relief or fear. Maybe all three. They stayed like that until the police came. Until statements were taken. Until the bodies were removed and the blood was cleaned. And the house was quiet again. The next morning, Eli wouldn't leave his room. Naomi went to him. Found him curled up in bed. "Hey, baby, you okay?" He shook his head. She sat next to him. "What's wrong? Is Alessio going to die?" "No, he's hurt, but he's going to be fine." "Are the bad men coming back?" "No, they're gone. Forever." "Promise?" "I promise." Eli was quiet for a moment, then, "Can we stay here?" "What?" "Can we stay here? With Alessio? I don't want to go back to the old apartment. I don't want to leave him." Her throat felt tight. "You like it here?" "Yeah, and I like him. He's nice. He makes you happy, and he makes me feel safe." Tears burned her eyes. "Oh, baby, can we stay? Please?" "I don't know. That's up to Alessio. But if he said yes, would you want to?" She thought about it. Really thought about it. About waking up in this house every day. About Eli laughing in the garden, about falling asleep next to Alessio every night. "Yeah," she whispered. "I would want to." Eli smiled. "Then ask him. It's not that simple." "Why not?" "Good question. Why not?" She kissed his forehead. "Let me talk to him. Okay?" "Okay." She found Alessio in his room. He was sitting up in bed. The bandage on his arm was clean. His color was better. "How are you feeling?" she asked. "Like I got hit by a truck, but alive." She sat on the edge of the bed. "Eli asked me something today." "What?" "He asked if we could stay. Here. With you." Alessio's eyes widened. "What did you say?" "I said I'd talk to you." "What do you want?" She took his hand. "I want to wake up next to you. I want to watch Eli play in your garden. I want to have breakfast with you and argue about what to watch on TV and fall asleep on your couch. I want a life with you. A real life, if you'll have us." He stared at her. "You'd really want that? After everything? After seeing what I'm capable of? I saw you protect us. I saw you fight for us. I saw you choose us over everything else. That's what I saw. This house has ghosts, my wife, my daughter. Their memories are everywhere. I'm not trying to replace them. I would never try to replace them, but maybe we could make new memories. Honor the old ones while building something new. His eyes filled with tears. I don't know how to do this. How to let someone in again. Neither do I, but we can figure it out. Together. He pulled her close, kissed her. Soft, gentle, full of promise. Stay, he whispered. Please, both of you. Stay. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. She kissed him again. Deeper this time. A yes. A promise. A beginning. 2 days later, Alessio called Marco and the household staff to the living room. Naomi and Eli stood beside him. I want to introduce you to someone, Alessio said. His voice was strong, clear. This is Naomi and this is Eli. They're staying here, permanently. They're family now, my family, and I expect you to treat them with the same respect and loyalty you show me. The staff nodded, smiled, welcomed them. Marco stepped forward, shook Naomi's hand. Welcome home. Her eyes filled with tears. Thank you. After everyone left, Alessio knelt in front of Eli. You're part of this family now. That means you're safe, protected, loved, always. Eli threw his arms around Alessio's neck. Thank you. You're welcome, buddy. Then Alessio stood, reached into his pocket, pulled out a small box. What's this? Naomi asked. Open it. She opened the box. Inside was a simple silver band, elegant, beautiful. It's not fancy, Alessio said, and it's not official, not yet. But I want you to have it. A promise that I'm yours and you're mine until we can make it real. Alessio, I know I said I'd never marry again. I know I said horrible things about black women, about you, but I was wrong, so wrong. It was never about race. It was about fear, fear of loving someone and losing them again. But I realized something. Loving you and losing you would hurt, but never loving you at all, that would kill me. She couldn't speak, could barely breathe. He took the ring from the box. So this is my promise. I will love you. I will protect you. I will choose you every single day, and when you're ready I'll ask you properly, with a real ring and a real proposal. But for now, will you wear this as a promise? She held out her hand, tears streaming down her face. Yes. He slipped the ring on her finger. It fit perfectly. Then he kissed her, in front of Eli, in front of the whole house. A declaration, a promise. Eli clapped, jumped up and down. Does this mean you're getting married? Alessio laughed. Eventually, if she'll have me. She will, Eli said confidently. Naomi laughed through her tears. Yeah, I will. 3 months later, Naomi woke to sunlight streaming through the bedroom window. The sheets were soft. The room was quiet, peaceful. She rolled over. Alessio was already awake, propped up on one elbow, watching her. How long have you been staring at me? She asked. Not long. You're beautiful when you sleep. Liar. I drool. Beautiful drool. She laughed, kissed him. Good morning. Good morning. They got up, got dressed, walked downstairs together. Eli was already in the kitchen with Maria. They were making pancakes. Eli's face was covered in flour. Mama, look, we're making breakfast. I see that. Alessio ruffled Eli's hair. You're supposed to put the flour in the bowl, buddy, not on your face. Oops. They all laughed. After breakfast, they walked into the garden. The sun was bright. The flowers were blooming. Everything smelled like spring. Eli ran ahead, chasing butterflies, laughing. Naomi and Alessio walked hand in hand, slow, content. I can't believe this is my life, Naomi said quietly. What do you mean? A few months ago, I was working 2 jobs, struggling to pay rent, terrified I'd lose Eli. And now I'm here, with you, safe, happy. It doesn't feel real. It's real. He squeezed her hand. And you deserve it. All of it. So do you. He stopped walking, turned to face her. I need to tell you something. What? He reached into his pocket, pulled out another box. This one was smaller, velvet. Her heart stopped. Naomi Carter, you walked into my life when I thought I was done living, done feeling, done hoping. You showed me that love isn't about replacing what was lost. It's about honoring it while building something new. You're brave, you're strong, you're everything I never knew I needed. He opened the box. Inside was a ring, a real ring, diamond, beautiful. I know I gave you a promise ring, but I don't want a promise anymore. I want forever. Will you marry me? Tears streamed down her face. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. He slipped the ring on her finger, next to the promise band. They fit perfectly together. Then he kissed her, long, deep, full of love and hope and promise. Eli came running over. "Does this mean you're really getting married now?" "Yes," Naomi said, laughing. "Can I be in the wedding?" "Of course," Alessio said. "You'll be the ring bearer." "What's that?" "It means you carry the rings. It's an important job." Eli beamed. "Cool." They walked through the garden together, the three of them, a family. Naomi looked at Alessio, at the man who'd saved her, protected her, loved her, and she realized something. She wasn't afraid anymore. Not of losing him, not of the future, not of anything. Because love wasn't about fear. It was about trust, about choosing each other, about building something worth protecting. And they'd built something beautiful. That evening they sat on the patio, watching the sunset. Eli was inside playing video games with Marco. Alessio pulled Naomi close. "What are you thinking about?" "Everything. Nothing. How lucky I am. I'm the lucky one. We're both lucky." He kissed her temple. "I love you, future Mrs. Vescari. I love you too." She looked at her rings, at the promise band and the engagement ring. "Together. Thank you." "For what?" "For seeing me. For choosing me. For showing me that safety isn't the absence of danger, it's the presence of devotion." He held her tighter. Always. They sat together as the sun set, as the stars came out, as the world turned quiet and peaceful, and for the first time in years, they both felt it. Hope. Real, lasting hope. Because they'd found what they'd both been searching for without knowing it. Home, safety, love in each other. 6 months after the proposal. The wedding was small, simple, perfect, just family. Marco, Maria, a few trusted friends, Eli as the ring bearer. Naomi wore a white dress, not fancy, just beautiful. Alessio wore a suit. He couldn't stop smiling. They said their vows in the garden, under the trees, surrounded by flowers. "I promise to love you," Alessio said, "through fear and through peace, through darkness and through light. I promise to choose you, every day, for the rest of my life." Naomi's voice shook. "I promise to stand by you, to trust you, to build a life with you that honors the past while embracing the future. I promise to love you, always." They kissed. Everyone cheered. Eli threw flower petals. At the reception, they danced. Alessio held her close, swayed gently to the music. "Happy?" he asked. "More than I ever thought possible." "Me too." Eli tugged on Alessio's jacket. "Can I dance too?" Alessio picked him up, held him between them. The three of them danced together. A family, chosen, built, loved. Later that night, after everyone left, Naomi and Alessio stood on the balcony. The house was quiet. The stars were bright. "Do you ever think about where we'd be if we'd never met?" Naomi asked. "All the time." "Where do you think you'd be?" He was quiet for a moment. "Lost. Alone. Probably dead. You saved me, Naomi. You brought me back to life. You saved me too. Gave me hope. Gave Eli a home. Gave us both a future." He turned to her. "This is just the beginning. We have a whole life ahead of us. I know, and I can't wait." He kissed her. Soft. Gentle. A promise of all the tomorrows to come. Behind them, through the window, they could see Eli sleeping peacefully in his room. Safe. Happy. Home. And Naomi realized something profound. This was what safety felt like. Not the absence of danger, but the presence of love, of family, of devotion so deep that nothing could shake it. They'd both been broken, both been scared, both been lost, but they'd found each other. And in finding each other, they'd found themselves. "I love you," she whispered. "I love you too," he said. "My wife, my future, my everything." They stood together under the stars. Two broken people made whole. Two lost souls found. And as they looked out at the garden, at the life they'd built, they both knew one truth. Love was worth fighting for, worth risking everything for, worth believing in, even when it seemed impossible, especially then, because the strongest love wasn't born in peace. It was forged in fire, and theirs had survived everything. Together, always together.